On the docket tonight, the Parkland school shooter. This case is coming up soon, and there was a moment a while ago where the whole trial seemed to go away. And that's because the Parkland school shooter admitted his guilt to 17 murders and 17 attempted murders. So coming up on the docket is the penalty phase of his trial. So a jury will have to decide life or death for the Parkland school shooter. Now, during that hearing, when he admitted his guilt, he made this very awkward statement at the hearing. I'm going to play that for you now. I want you to watch it and think about what the next phase of this case is all about, which will be whether or not he lives or dies. Take a look.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day. And it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go and whether I live or die. Not the jury's. I believe it's your decision. I'm sorry.
It was a bizarre moment. I didn't quite understand it, but there's going to be a trial now. Let's bring back in our think tank. I see you early, Brian Frost, Al Wunsch. Brian, your thoughts about a trial that is life or death. That's it. The jury doesn't have to decide if you did it because you already admitted to all of it. He pleaded guilty to the charges, the 17 murders, the 17 attempted murders, and that's the guy we just saw. That's the guy they've got to figure out life or death for him.
Yeah. Well, you know, he had to admit it if he's going to use the defense that he's used, which I believe is that he had multiple personalities or at least one other personality. And, you know, I don't know. I can't really comment on whether he sounds like he's very disturbed, which kind of makes me think there should have been people paying attention to that. How did this happen? How did he get a hold of the gun? If he just went in and bought one, then I think we've got real problems that need to be addressed. You know, as far as people like himself getting on it, but when he went off on the marijuana, I'm not sure where he was going, and helping people regardless of the outcome. I don't know who he's thinking he's going to be helping. Hopefully himself to stay alive where he's going.
Okay, see you early. This is your state, Florida. Okay? Yes. Death penalty is the law. It is the law. The worst of the worst. Does it get any worse than what he did?
It does not, but then you have to look at the mitigating circumstances. Now, I live less than 5 minutes away from Parkland. This entire community was shaken by what occurred. So even if he gets the jury of his peers, you're not going to set aside what occurred. But at the same time, is it sufficient mitigating circumstances that will sway the jury into giving him, let's say, a life sentence over a death sentence? And what he said may not have made sense to us, but those were his raw emotions. He wasn't reading off of a script. He was just saying how he felt. And clearly, he's not in the right state of mind. He was overlooked several times. He should have been flagged when he had several complaints, several police calls. He was failed by the system, didn't get the proper mental help. All of this information is, I'm pretty sure the public defender will utilize as mitigating circumstances to hopefully spare his life.
Al Wunsch, your thoughts about this case, because I believe the way the evidence is going to come out is when it comes down to motivation, which I think is going to be a big factor here for this jury. Why did he do what he did? I think he was a little angry that involving a potential love interest of his was not returning the same feelings. I think that was part of it. I think that the evidence may show that that was part of it. How important is the why of it at this trial when the jury has to decide life or death?
you know, I call this like the Leopold and Loeb lob, okay? Because what they did was they really cut off a lot of this trial by him coming up and admitting it. And even though he was a little disjointed with regards to his statement, I have to agree that, you know, he came across as being pathetic. He came across as being troubled. He came across as somebody who does not necessarily, is not in any way happy with what he's done. He is living with it. It is torturing him. It is going on him. And as I said, it's a Leopold and Loeb lob. It gives the jury something to think about. And giving him a life sentence is probably where they're going to go with this. If he had wanted a full-blown trial, all this came out, he defiantly put these people through all of this pain, I think the jury's going to be looking at it from a different light. But he cut that off, a smart move on his attorney's part, and I think it's going to deliver a life verdict.
Casey, give us a little more insight from, do you think that going in to all of this, you know, if you had to say which is the more likely outcome, that the folks down there in Florida are going to cut him the break?
Well, again, this was very traumatic for our community here at Parole County. And just being in the courthouse, and I was actually there on the day that he took the plea, and just to see the sentiments of the family, they were very emotional. So you have to think about the victim impact statements. Will the victim impact statement supersede his emotions and supersede whether or not he received sufficient help? And on that day, he was able to execute 17 lives and then casually walk to the store, and he didn't surrender there at the scene. So they're going to take all of this into account. The emotions are still raw even after several years have passed. And then I passed the building. It's still up. It won't be demolished until the sentencing phase is completed. So the emotions are there. And because the amount of lives, they may not share his life in this case. It depends.
Yeah, it's going to be such a difficult case for everyone in that courthouse, and there's going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of people, the students who were there, the families. It's unreal, but you'll see it on Court TV.